In this video, I'm going to show you how to build your own assembly. You have to do it in a digitized wall, and if you digitize a linear, you have to drop in linear parts. If you digitize an area, you have to drop in area parts. So here we're going to build a linear takeoff assembly. Up here, click New Assembly, and then you want to write down what type of assembly you want to build. So you might want to think about that first. And I'm just going to copy and paste the name that I already typed up for this assembly. And this is what we're going to put in there. 3 5/8 studs, 25 gauge, 16 on center, 10-foot long studs with a 2x4 PT bottom plate with a 1/2 inch regular on each side and 10-foot high wall, labor and material. So we just go over here and start dropping our parts in. We'll get our track. And if you click on that and the plus sign doesn't show up there, just click this refresh button and everything pops back in place. We'll double click on the track and we're going to set our defaults now. We want 2 runs of track, top and bottom. We're going to use this here as a default 3 5/8 track, and we're going to click OK. Now we're going to get our studs. Double click on the studs. We're going to set our on-center spacing to 16. We're going to let this 3 5/8 be our default. Our studs are going to be 10 foot long. Click OK. Now we can get some fasteners. Linear fasteners, 7/16 panhead screws. Studs are 16 on center. Just set all your defaults here, and that way when you drop in this assembly, you won't have to change any parts. You don't have to answer any questions. Drop in your bottom plate. Go to the wood. Look for bottom plate. Linear takeoff. Drop in your bottom plate. 10-foot long 2x4s you want to use, or 8-footers, whatever you want to use. A 2x4 pressure treated plate. You'll click OK. And let's get our drywall. We'll do our 1/2 inch regular linear takeoff. We'll set our board size at 4x12. We're going to do 2 sides of the wall. The wall height's going to be 10 foot. The board's going to be 1/2 inch regular. 12-foot boards. Just go down here and answer the questions now and set your defaults. We'll get some joint compound, a linear takeoff. The wall's 10 foot high. We're going to do 2 sides of the wall. And we'll get some tape. That's a joint compound by the box. I'm going to cancel that out. We'll get the tape, 250-foot roll. Let's say we want to use a 500-foot roll tape on a linear takeoff. So we'll click the 500-foot and set the default as that. The wall's 10 foot high. We're going to do both sides. Alright, now we got our drywall. Let's go into our labor folder. In the framing, we want to do some layout. We're going to do bottom plate. You set your defaults in here. We're going to do our framing light gauge. Wall height is 10 feet. We're just going to set the defaults. Let's do our hanging and finishing. We got our taper. We're going to do 2 sides of the wall. We'll answer these questions to set the defaults. We're going to do our hanger. We'll do 2 sides of the wall. We'll use a 12-foot board. Keep all these same defaults. And that's it. Now that we dropped in all of our parts, we can expand it. We can look at it. See that we got all of our parts in there that we needed. Close the assembly. Copy it. Go to our templates. Click on assemblies. Right click. Paste as sub item. Open our assemblies up. Look for the part. We can move it to the right, and we'll put it right into the framing assemblies folder, so it's right in there. And here we have a new assembly, just that quick. And you can build these assemblies any way you want to. You can be doing a takeoff, and as you're doing a takeoff and you start dropping in this wall and all these parts, and you look at it when you get done, you say, wow, I'd like that to be an assembly. Well, all you got to do is click on assembly. Just hi-hat these parts that you dropped in and right click them here, Subpaste them. You do not want to copy the digitized points because you want to save this as in your templates folder. So say no, and you're going to have to put a name on it, and then you save it, and you do it the same way. And you have all your parts already in there the same way that you built it. And that concludes this video. Let me delete this. You don't want you just delete it. Okay, that concludes this video on building an assembly.